What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Report, and today we are diving back into a series that I haven't covered on the channel here in a long time, and that is RWBY. Welcome to the RWBY recap of episode 1 of volume 8. Yes, RWBY is back, and even though it's been back pretty consistently every fall season, it still just seems like it's such a long time. Every time it comes back, it really is a year, and it just feels like it's so much longer when we finally get it. But anyway, new episodes of RWBY are on Rooster Teeth every Saturday. And if you have a membership with Verve, you also have a membership with Rooster Teeth. So you can go and watch it day one on either one of those services. Or if you're patient, you can go to Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel and you can watch it there for free. But the episodes come out the week after, so you'll be a week behind. However you feel like watching it, RWBY's back, and we are ready to get into the action and adventure and the drama and the comedy and just everything that we like about this wholesome series that has come so far. But at the same time, it just still feels kind of like a homebrew product. Just kind of like watching something that your friend made and you just see it gets better and better and better. And that's just how I get a feeling with RWBY every season, just especially looking at how much has come from looking at the animation even in season 1 and looking at it now. It just came so far away. And the opening of this season, that's another thing I want to talk about as well, is this was probably the best produced opening in all of RWBY, because this one really looks like a video game. It has that look and feel and kind of a high octane and dramatic type of angles and views and shots. It just feels like everything is bigger, and for once I feel like I'm watching a video game or an anime versus what we usually get with RWBY, which is the openings has always been good, but this one just stands out so far. And the song's okay, but I like the visuals and I like how this one was put together much better. So we kick off our recap with a big welcome back, RWBY. Give me the hug, give me the bro hug. We're finally back into it. And as far as pacing for the series goes, me personally, I feel that volume 5 and 6, they were good, but overall it just felt like they were building up to something bigger down the line. I never would have expected RWBY to get to the point where it is now, where it's so serious, I guess. I mean, at the end of volume 7, our resident team, our resident darlings, they're fugitives, they're on the run, and it's mainly part of Ironwood and him going down the deep end, so far deep to protect Mantle from Salem that he's pretty much become the villain. You can really tag him as the villain of this season, and I've always felt a little bit uneasy about him, even when he was squeaky clean. But now it's to the point where he is down the path of no return almost. The things that he's doing, the moves that he's making, and this follow me or else mentality that he has, it's only going to end up being more trouble for our team as things goes along, and for himself too, because he's making some decisions where he can't dig himself out of. Like, he's gone so far now with this mandate that I'm going to put Mantle under martial law, and if you don't follow me, you die. I mean, this guy is just straight up out here deading politicians and people against him, that there may be room for redemption for Ironwood, but not too much, if any. And I just don't see this ending well for him. RWBY will go there, but the thing now is, just like the series itself, how it's evolved and changed, taking a look at Ironwood from when he started out and looking at him now, where being just as evil as everybody else is trying to stop Team RWBY, is really a big thing. And I think he's made some decisions where he's not going to be able to come back from, no matter how much you try to talk him out of it, RWBY. So don't try to do it. That's probably where they're going to go anyway. Ironwood is in a position of protection. He's supposed to be somebody that we trust, and now with him essentially being the villain himself, these guys really don't have anybody to turn to but the ragtag people they're coming along with along the way, like Robin Hill, for example. Volume 8 didn't waste no time either. It drops us right back into Cinder and Neo going to Salem to bring her the relic of knowledge, aka the genie lamp. And Cinder tries to take credit for bringing it, like, oh, I present you with the relic of knowledge, Salem, here you go. It was all me, I did it. And Tyrion made sure that he was there to take the credit, not only for bringing it, or more along the lines of making it happen, because it was his chaos, it was his manipulation, it was the things that him and the Doctor did in volume 7 to set things up, as far as setting up Robin Hill back at Mantle, having Penny almost take the fall for the deaths that he caused and the holograms and all that stuff. It was because of his chaos that things were so clear for Neo and Cinder to actually get the relic. So he made sure he pointed that out to Salem, like, nah, you didn't do this on your own. And matter of fact, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have it at all. And also, he just likes to shit on Cinder anyway. He just likes to make sure that she gets the worst path possible as he tries to become basically the servant, because all these people under Salem, they're just kind of like, you work for me. That's how it works out. And Tyrion's kind of like, well, if I'm going to be in that position, I'm going to be the best in that position. And something that's also interesting about Neo is you can see the reluctance on her face. It's kind of like she knows that Cinder's full of it, for example, and when Cinder's saying things like she took all the credit, she's looking like, what about what I had to go through, and things like that. And that's something I'm worried about with the series overall, and that's just, stories like this in general. I don't want to see Neo become a good guy, because she was the main villain of RWBY at first, when it first started, after all. But it kind of looks like they're going into a direction where she just feels something isn't right, or maybe she would just turn tail and join the other side just to stick it to Cinder. I wouldn't put that past her either. But how she was just looking this, because she can't talk anymore, how she was looking this entire episode, it's just kind of like, she just doesn't rock with Cinder like that. And she's going to find a way to either get away from her, maybe even Salem too. And she's going to end up on the opposite side, maybe even a side for herself. But, it just feels like she's just uneasy with where she is. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic, especially as we go on and on and on with the season. Because Cinder has her own plans. Cinder's like, if you give me one more chance, Salem, let me go get the powers of the maiden. And, at this point, Salem is just done with her crap. Salem's like, no, you've had ample time. You had ample chances to go out here and get this maiden power, and you haven't done it. Now we're going to do things my way. And don't forget that you're my servant. So you're going to do what I say. You're going to fall in line, or you're going to be out of here. And that's just how it is. And, of course, that's going to lead to a plot point because, of course, Cinder, she was like, yes, master, I'll do whatever you say. But we know Cinder by now. Cinder's probably plotting something to overthrow Salem. It's probably not going to work. But she's probably still going to go try to get the maiden powers on her own, and we'll have to see how that works. It is not going to be well. She's going to need a lot of help if she's trying to take down Salem. She would probably have to get the power of the maidens, which like I said, we know she's going to go off and try to do on her own. And we'll just have to see where that goes. The second half of the episode catches us up with our main characters as Oz has been reunited with Team RWBY, and they're all working to evacuate Mantle. That is their main goal. Crow and Robin are in prison, which doesn't fare well for Crow because, well, it's a good thing he's alive, but he's also in prison for murder for that other guy that was real patriotic, whoever on Ironwood's team. And who knows what they're going to do to him? Who knows what they're going to do to Robin? I mean, the opening shows that they're going to work together, of course. I'm not worried about Crow dying here, even though I still worry about Crow dying. And the team's plan, again, is to launch the evacuation using amnesty. But there's this whole problem that you need command codes to use this massive ship to evacuate everybody that only Ironwood has. So in order to do that, they're going to try to break into a secondary compound, find the codes, and try to do it that way. Try to stay as discreet as possible. And I like the little joke that I said. He was like, okay, how is this safer? We would probably be better off just trying to get him from Ironwood himself than trying to go into his heavily guarded place and actually get them. And if they do succeed, which they're trying to do, they're trying to get to these command codes to call more people. Can we finally get the rest of the teams? I mean, come on. It has been about, we haven't seen the rest of the team since Volume 3. I mean, besides Wukong, we have seen no one else from the other schools. And every season I wait to see these guys again, and we just don't. So I'm hoping that's in the works as well. Hopefully they will succeed. They get this big call out to Beacon and everybody around, and we get to see Team Coffee and everybody else again. That will really make this stand out. I think earlier on, though, the main focus of this season is going to be the disarray that we're beginning to have it with Team RWBY. Yang overall is beginning to butt heads with RWBY. She's just getting a little bit winded with her optimistic ways, RWBY's plans, and RWBY's failures, for lack of a better word. I mean, she tried to sugarcoat it as best as she could, but Yang was like, we're always trying your way, and it's not working. We need to do something new. And the thing is, people are beginning to actually agree with Yang. Like Ren, for example. Ren is all for what Yang wants to do. Of course, Nora, that brings him at odds with Nora because Nora is still more along the lines of what RWBY wants to do. And now we're getting a split between these teams. And for now, the teams are actually going to split up with two different objectives. So you're going to have Team Yang, which is John, Yang, Oz, and Ren. And then overall, they're going to go after the evacuation. They're going to try to do the evacuation plan the way they want to. Meanwhile, Team RWBY consists of Nora, Weiss, Blake and a resentful Penny who feels that she can do more and just still feels bad about everything that happened with her last volume. They're going to stick with Ruby to try to get these command codes and do it that way. So Ruby's team go for the code again. Yang's team's going for the evacs. The bigger issue is this. I mean, we've seen arguments, we've seen rifts, we've seen bitterness and bickering between Team RWBY before, but we've never been to the point where it's almost a civil war with both of them are going to both sides, because also now you have Yang and Blake on opposite sides of how things are as well, because there's going to be some differences between them. It's kind of convenient how they just made it even split with all of the ships that we have in RWBY. That's the way it's looking right now, and because it's so even, because everybody who is in a ship with someone else is on the opposite side, you're not going to resolve it. But it's still pretty decent storytelling to have RWBY finally at odds with each other, because this is not the time for this. This is the wrong time for them not to be on the same page, especially with Salem having the relic. Salem about to make some wishes, or at least about to find out some knowledge that even she doesn't know, I guess. I don't know what she wants with this thing besides world domination. And with her eyes set on Osman, she's on track to do it if RWBY isn't on the right track. So that was the end of episode 1 of volume 8, and that is the end of RWBY recap. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're going to try to keep up with the RWBY recaps as frequent as possible. One good thing about RWBY, and they really haven't been doing it the past few volumes. I remember back in the day where you used to get the War of Remnant episodes. That would give you a break. Usually RWBY is about 12 or 13 episodes. We'll stick with it as long as we can, because I had a lot of fun sitting down and talking about RWBY again as we try to steer the ship back here. And I'll catch you guys later. So as always, you know what I just said. Like the video, go ahead and drop it a like. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know when I do drop a video. I'll hopefully catch you guys next week. No, I will catch you guys next week. This is what we're going to do. It's a declaration. We're going to try to cover RWBY, even if it's days late. That's what we're going to do. It's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.